So those are the players for both sides. The coach for Brose Bamberg, of course, is Einar Bagackis, the former Latvian national team coach. Also recently the coach of Maccabi Tel Aviv, taking the reins here in Bamberg for the first time this season. The players will exchange souvenirs, another demonstration of that FIBA sportsmanship. So a lot of things to look out for here tonight. And the referees will be the Italian Lorenzo Baldini, Anastasios Manos from Greece, and Boris Krejic of Slovenia. And again, it's been a busy week in terms of the German-French sports rivalry. Lots going on in the sports world. And Brose actually looking to turn things around. German teams have lost 9 of their 13 basketball Champions League games against French sides. So France with a little bit of a dominant hand so far. And you see the French starting five for Dijon: Robert Arnold, David Holston, Obi Emigano, Gavin Ware, and Abdoulaye Loum. And of course, David Holston led this team in scoring he was their leading scorer last week. 16 points on 6 of 11 shooting, including 3 of 8 from 3. And he's been with Dijon before. You see their coach Lenyam, who played for Toulon, and there are actually quite a few Toulon ties in this team. Robert Arnold got some time there, as well as Alexandre Chasson and Axel Julien as well. So Toulon to Dijon, and now we are in Bamberg. You see there number 20, Elias Harris. A lot of basketball fans might have followed his career at Gonzaga, and he'll be coming off the bench. Starting five for Bamberg: Zizis, Daniel Schmidt, Rubit, Cliff Alexander, and Koboka. So that means for the second consecutive game, Tyrese Rice will be coming off the bench for Bamberg. Again, he had those 33 points last week off the bench, contributing to 51 points off the bench for the team overall. And there's Coach Bagackis, who had a phenomenal run with Latvia at the Eurobasket 2017 in Istanbul, with players such as, of course, Kristaps Porzingis and the Bertans brothers at his disposal. They were able to get all the way to the quarterfinal before succumbing to a tough Slovenian team that obviously won that Eurobasket championship. So Bagackis now looking to, replicate the success he's had in many, many clubs and for his country in Germany. And again, as a reminder, the Basketball Champions League, we are now in our 3rd season. Just got underway last week. 32 teams will contest in the regular season. They'll play in 4 groups, each with 8 teams, and the 4 best-ranked teams from each group will advance to the playoffs. The 5th and 6th place finishers of each group will qualify for the FIBA Europe Cup playoffs, and the 7th and 8th place finishers will unfortunately be eliminated. But this is game day 2 of 14, so still a lot of action to be played throughout the season. For those teams that do qualify for the playoffs, the top 4 play a set of home and away games in the round of 16 in order to progress to the quarterfinals, which will ultimately determine the final 4. So this fan, he's ready. The red wall of Bamberg is up. You see all the fans dressed out in their red attire. And again, a lot of people consider Bamberg the best German club of the last 15 years and one of the top clubs in Europe. And they've also made a long-term commitment to the Basketball Champions League, acknowledging how fast of a competition this has been in terms of its growth. And of course, at FIBA, looking forward to collaborating with clubs like Brose Bamberg and many, many others. So we are here in Freak City, as they call it, in Bamberg. You see there Daniel Schmidt, who does start the point guard position ahead of Tyrese Rice. Only had 10 minutes, no points last week. So we'll see if Coach Bagackis elects to use a similar strategy. Meanwhile, number 98 there, Koboka. A lot of you might remember him from his time at Capo d'Orlando, just 20 years old, a Lithuanian. But before then, we're going to have a moment of silence in honor of Patrick Baumann, the Secretary General, who passed away this past weekend.
Mit seiner Leidenschaft und seinem Engagement war Patrick Baumann ein Botschafter des Basketballs in der ganzen Welt. Er war ein Unterstützer und Wegbereiter der Basketball Champions League geworden. Unsere Gedanken sind in diesen schweren Stunden bei seinen Angehörigen, denen unser Mitgefühl gilt. Bitte lassen Sie uns gemeinsam eine Minute innehalten. Vielen Dank.
So of course, the legendary Patrick Baumann, who was so instrumental in growing basketball internationally, suddenly passed away this weekend in Argentina. So our thoughts are with his family. And we are now live and underway here in Bamberg, Germany. Brose in black, Dijon in white. First possession goes to Bamberg as they look to get the ball inside. Meanwhile, Zizis, the Greek international, the Greek legend, and Alexander now, the little step back, doesn't fall. Possession stays with Bamberg. Second chance opportunity, shot clock reset to 14. Here's Alexander again. 2 shots in the first possession, no good for Cliff Alexander. Meanwhile, Holston being pressured in the backcourt here from Schmidt. And of course, you see the height difference. Holston, about 5'8", but still electric. Product out of Chicago State. Meanwhile, Rubit, number 21 on defense there, guarding Loom. And a nice catch. Loom finishes at the basket. A beautiful pass there inside from Robert Arnold, finding the big man. So Dijon on the board first. Meanwhile, Koboka, he can hit that, but it doesn't drop for him this time. Koboka, 6'9", small forward out of Lithuania, was scoreless last week in 7 minutes, but he still gets the start here tonight. Here's Arnold. Loom looking to make it 2 for 2. Does just that. Nice little spin and kind of a jump hook there from Abdoulaye Loom. 4-zip early on here for Dijon. Zizis with the kick back to Rubit. Koboka will try from the other side, airballs it, just too strong with that jumper. Holston collects the rebound. So good start defensively, and we're gonna have a foul against Daniel Schmidt. He's trying to cut off the sideline there from Holston. Take a look at the 2 baskets here from Loom. The double down screens, looking to get Holston some space. Running another set of screens on the base. Oh, what a step back. And he drains it. David Holston showing you how he gets the job done. His first basket of the night, and that's an early 6-0 lead here. Bamberg just looking to get on the board. Nico Zizis inside to Rubit. Good defense from Loom. And shot clock down to 1. Rubit has to throw up a prayer, no good. And it's another stop for the Dijon defense. A little one-handed flip pass. And the rebound ends up in the hands of Bamberg. Gavin Ware unable to finish. Meanwhile, Zizis back the other end. He can't hit the layup. Arnold thought about the 3. And they're going to get a reach-in foul on Cliff Alexander. So early substitution here as Begaskis goes to his bench, inserting Patrick Heckman for Koboka. So a tough start for the Lithuanian shooter. Here's Holston over to Arnold. Turn, catch and shoot. Just a little short. Alexander can't squeeze the rebound. Ware is able to keep it alive. Here's Holston, a long bomb 3, and that doesn't fall for him. Rubik comes around with the rebound. So Zizis, who can play so many positions for his team. The lob to Alexander. No one even close to the easy dunk. Cliff Alexander for the first 2 for the Bamberg squad. Nice feed there from Zizis. No help side rotation from Dijon. Loom looking for the handoff. And Mcdowell over to Arnold. Strong take to the basket. And he's unable to convert. Heckman over to Zizis. Daniel Schmidt uses the screen, finds Zizis in the corner. Alexander dives in, and he kind of too strong with that finger roll layup. Meanwhile, Mcdowell looking for the screen, and it's ripped away from Rubit. So good defense there from the big. He's able to slide over and stay in front of the guard. And nearly 5 minutes gone by. Still just one field goal for Bamberg so far. And it's a steal. Holston comes away, 4-on-1 opportunity. And Mcdowell lays it in. Good fast break there from Dijon. Turning defense, it's a quick offense. So a bright start for Coach Lenyam's team. And meanwhile, we have the first foul against Dijon. You see there, Coach Lenyam. And we'll take another look at that steal, and then push of the tempo. And Mcdowell, the Nigerian international, finishing with the layup. So Schmidt skips it over Rubit. And the ball goes through the hands of Cliff Alexander. Now it's 2-on-2. No real advantage for Holston, so he'll look to isolate against Tyrese Rice. And the mid-range is no good for him. So Tyrese Rice does check into the game. And he'll get his first touch here. Over to Hackman. Back to Tyrese Rice. Can definitely hit the long three. And it's a cold start so far for Bamberg. And another bump from Daniel Schmidt, so that'll be his second personal foul. Looking to put the pressure on Holston. Meanwhile, Cliff Alexander checks out of the game. He's replaced by Stevan Jolovac. And for the first time in the Basketball Champions League, we're going to see William McDowell White, the 6'3" Australian point guard, just 20 years old. Meanwhile, Tyrese Rice having a little conversation with the referee. Rice has been wearing that headband since his Boston College days, where he had a phenomenal career for the Eagles. And he's carved out an even more phenomenal career overseas. Meanwhile, Holston very much done the same inside. Nice little dump-in pass, but Ware can't hit the mid-range jumper. So here's Rice against Holston, probably our matchup of the game. Jolovac, nice skip pass, but it hits the net. McDowell White over to Rice, gets into the lane. That floater is famous, but just a little short that time. Oh, nice bounce pass. And I think they're going to call a foul against Jolovac. But David Holston able to connect off the dribble, as we'll see Jérémy Leloup check into the game for the first time, the former Strasbourg player who had some BCL competition, or experience, I should say, with Strasbourg last season. One of those same player, new team guys that are plastered all over the Basketball Champions League. Meanwhile, the three, no good. That was Loom trying to showcase the outside touch. Here's Rice. Looking for space, drives the baseline, a lot of defenders. Finds the open man, Heckman thought about it. Finds a beautiful pass inside, and Jolovac able to finish. So low scoring affair here in the first few minutes in Bamberg. Meanwhile, Holston unable to connect on the long three. Here's Rice again. Oh, splits the double team, but lost track of the ball. Loom, breakaway action, and he's able to lay it in nice and easy. So again, another fast break opportunity taken advantage of by Dijon. And they are now up 10-4. So turnovers really hurting Bamberg in the first quarter so far. Some good action. Jelovac, the lefty, fades away. He can't finish. Rubit amongst 4 white jerseys can't create another opportunity. So Dijon comes back down the other way. And Holston gets to the lane. Ware with the and one opportunity. Another nice find from Holston. And Gavin Ware able to get his first basket of the night and the chance to add one more at the free throw line. So Holston will get a break for the last couple minutes of the first quarter. Arnaud checks back in. You also see number 83, Axel Julien, in the game. But let's take another look at that tough finish. Gavin Ware with a double clutch. And Ware completes a three-point play before he comes out of the game. So Alexandre Chasson checks in for him. And it's a lot of the bench players in the game for Dijon at the moment as they built a 9-point lead. Here's Heckman back the other way. He gets fouled on the strip. Caught the defense napping. Heckman goes down hard. You see him grimacing a little bit. Foul will go against Jérémy Leloup on the reach right there. And yeah, Heckman just turned that left ankle. So he's gonna try to, oh, he was at least thinking about trying. Now he's gonna head back to the bench. So sprained ankle might have been a little bit more severe than initially thought. And he'll get checked out by the training staff, which brings Elias Harris off the bench. Harris, 13 minutes, 8 points, 5 rebounds last week against Fuenlabrada. And that's also going to bring Emigano back into the game. So just 4 points in the first 8 minutes plus here for Bamberg. Rice goes inside to Harris. Nice double team from Julien. Catch and shoot 3. Off the side of the rim that time for Mcdowell White. Meanwhile, Arnold seems to be a bit of confusion defensively here for Bamberg. Julien turns the corner, and Chasson can't quite find the pass to Leloup, but he hustles for it. And ball still live. Bamberg comes away with it. Chance here to run over the three-pointer. Again, no good, and it's going to hit the top of the backboard and go out of bounds for Kloboka. So he starts the game 0 for 3. Bekatskis obviously can't be too impressed with this team's shooting here so far in the first quarter. Just 2 of 14. So it's been a real struggle to get the ball in the hoop. Only Jelovac and Cliff Alexander with field goals here so far. Julien inside, and Magano, a little fadeaway. He can't hit it. So both teams actually struggling to put the ball in the hoop. Dijon just 6 of 16. Harris hands it over to Mcdowell White. His Rice gets to the lane, creates the space. The iron's so unkind so far for the home team. But they haven't fallen too far behind, still single-digit deficit thanks to their defense as Zizis back into the game for Mcdowell White. Bamberg shot 46% overall last week. in their loss as they put 88 points on the board. But far from that percentage here tonight. Meanwhile, Leloup out to Arnold, pump fakes, lost the ball, gets it back. Shot clock winds down. Leloup has to hoist it up. He can't hit the three, so another stop for Bamberg. And the final possession of the first quarter will be in the hands of Tyrese Rice. Dijon has a couple of fouls to give, so they'll use one there. Julien reaching in to slow down the offense. And we're also going to have a substitution as Louis Weber checks into the game. The young 20-year-old French guard who didn't get any action last week, so it'll be him for the last 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Harris quickly turns the corner, can't finish right at the basket, and the desperation shot from Leloup will not have counted. So after 10 minutes of action, it's 13-4 here in Bamberg, and potentially one of the lowest quarters of basketball that we've had in the Basketball Champions League. Just 17 combined points. You see there Ryan Pearson. Doesn't seem like he'll be getting any action today. 2 of 11 Bamberg from 2, 0 of 5 from 3. Both teams combined 0 of 10 from 3. So it's been a struggle to find the points. We'll take a look at some of the very few highlights of those first 10 minutes. Arnold finding Loom for the early 2. So again, Dijon 6 of 17 overall, just 35%. And they've gone to the free throw line one time. You did see that nice little pull back between the legs from Holston. And Alexander got the easy throw down dunk. You can see Loom kind of caught in no man's land on the help side rotation. The back screen from Schmidt really worked out. Good execution on that play. Dijon also got a couple of fast break opportunities, getting some breakaway layups. So we'll see what kind of adjustments Coach Bagatskis can make. It's tough when your team starts 2 of 16 from the field. They have more turnovers and baskets, which is never a good sign. Dijon, meanwhile, currently shooting 35%. They shot 39% in their game last week as they put up 74 points in that win over Chesnenberg. All right, so second quarter's underway. Julien will initiate the show for Dijon. There's Emigano. And a screen from Chasson. Over to Arnold. Oh, nice baseline rip, and 2 free throws to come as Harris had no choice but to foul to prevent the layup. And again, Bagatskis animated on that sideline as you see Kolboka just unable to stay in front of his man. And no help side defense on that baseline either. So Arnold at the line now for the second and third free throws for Dijon. And he rattles in the first. So it's now a 10-point lead on the road in the early moments of the second quarter for Dijon. Again, it's their first, both of these teams, do this first action in the Basketball Champions League. Arnold short on the second free throw. Harris spins baseline and finishes right over Arnold. So the defense set him baseline. Harris happy to oblige, able to get his first 2 points of the game. Here's Emigano. Finds Julien, catch and shoot 3. No good. Both teams still struggling from beyond the arc. have a whistle, foul off the ball. Looks like it's going to be on Jérémy Leloup. Harris, nice skip past to Rice, who just throws it way out of bounds. Obviously, the ball slipping out of his hands there. And the frustration continues to mount for Tyrese Rice here so far. Oh, nice find, Chasson. No room, though. Leloup over to Arnold. Step back, corner three. Drains it. Tough shot there from Arnold over Harris. And the veteran gets his first field goal. First field goal of the season in the Basketball Champions League, actually. He went 0 for 4 last week. Jelovac, lefty, kind of just throws up and you see Leloup with another off-the-ball foul, trying to box out Elias Harris. And he rushes over to the bench. Not sure if Coach Lenyam wants to take him out of the game just yet. Referee telling him that we understand you picked up your third foul, but you can't be so animated in your reactions. And that's going to bring Loom back into the game. So Zizis inbounds it. Over to Rice. Skips it over to Serbian Jelovac for three. Finally, a three-pointer falls for Bamberg. And it's the big man Jelovac, 6'10" power forward, with his first three of the night. Also hit one last game, so definitely be counted on for the outside shot. And Arnold looks to respond. Back-to-back trays for Robert Arnold. And he's starting to heat up now. He has all 7 points in the quarter for Dijon. Both teams starting to put up a couple more points. And Arnold, with the poke away, deflects the ball out of bounds. Meanwhile, for Bamberg, for the first time, we're going to see number 16, Louis Olinde. Take another look at that three-pointer. And then the response from Arnold. And it does seem like Dijon wants to put number 98 there, Kolboka, in as many pick and rolls as possible defensively. Here's Rice inside to Harris. Nice duck in. And the foul's going to go against Emigano. See Harris doing a good job of using his body to create space underneath the basket. Seals the defender. And Rice doing a good job of feeding him the ball. So Harris now the free throw line, looking to get Bamberg into double digits. Meanwhile, Daniel Schmidt back into the game. And we're going to see Louis Weber again as well. So Harris connects on the first free throw. So 2 for 2 for Harris. Here's Julien. Arnold turns the corner. He's been feeling it, and he continues to feel it. Give him 9 points. So Robert Arnold continuing to provide the scoring punch. Here's Olinde, corner three. Good contest from Arnold, and he hops over the banner, but Loom couldn't save the ball from going out of bounds. You see Bagatskis not happy with the defensive effort from Olinde. So the shot clock did reset to 24. We'll see if they adjust that. Obviously, there was a shot block, and they're trying to discuss whether or not Loom had possession of the ball long enough. And it seems like they agreed that they're still discussing it. So 24 seconds for Bamberg. There's Jelovac, another three. This time no good, but a good hustle from Harris to keep the ball alive. Now Zizis gets the screen from Harris, pulls up for two. Can't finish. Olinde, good hustle. Jelovac, third opportunity. Again, Olinde with a rebound. And Zizis inside to Harris, who lays it in with the left hand. So let's see if that play can catalyze a little bit more effort from Bamberg. Multiple opportunities, leads to the basket. But on this side, they need to slow down Arnold. Meanwhile, Harris leading the way for Bamberg with 6 points. Here's Julien. He gets stripped. Harris now 3-on-2. Over to Zizis, takes the bump, and he'll head to the free throw line. So again, the energy now being felt on the defensive end for Bamberg. As you see there, Zizis gets his hand into Julien's drive and runs the floor. And Weber does a pretty good job of preventing the layup. Already 14 fouls now for Dijon as Zizis hits that first free throw. They call him the Lord of the Rings. He is the Greek player with the most combined medals, one of the youth, young men, and senior men's FIBA European and World Tournaments. So everywhere he goes, he is a champion. And he's now been in Bamberg for a couple of years. Meanwhile, we see the press for Bamberg. Arnold had some space to take the long shot, decided against it. Here's Julien now. Nice pick and roll, and nobody contests Chasson as he throws down the jam with the left hand and raises the roof. We see you, Alexandre Chasson. The 6'8" backup center from France gets his first basket. Meanwhile, Harris drift pass. Oh, good ball movement here. And it leads to the corner three for Harris. Gets fouled. So Chasson, good play on the offensive end, and then makes the mistake on the defensive end as you see the dunk there from the big man. Good pick and roll action, no help side rotation. But meanwhile, on the other end, looking to contest the three from Harris, gets called for the foul. So Holston re-enters the game, replacing Julien. And Harris hits his first free throw. We've got 3 for 3 for Harris. But he misses the second of 3 free throws. One for 3 for Harris. The last 2 rattled in and out. And it's going to be an 8-second violation. The backcourt pressure from Schmidt pays off. And Holston not really aware how much time was being used there. So a couple of substitutions for both sides. Tyrese Rice checks back into the game. So does Gavin Ware. And Augustine Ribbit as well. Ribbit has been very quiet here so far. Yet to score after putting up 16 points last week. Here he is with the ball now, handed over to Zizis. And they're going to call a foul. I believe it's on Weber, trying to move his feet. So more free throws to come now, as you see Weber just giving up too much room. And more free throws for Bamberg as they've been able to count on the free throw strike to kind of carve into this deficit a little bit. 5 of 7 overall, make that 6 for 8. Still just shooting 3 of 10 from the field here in the second quarter, 5 of 24 overall. So obviously 20% shooting probably won't cut it. There's still plenty of time, just down 6 now, 2-possession game. Zizis with all 4 of his points from the free throw line. Again, the pressure in the backcourt, and it's nearly another 8-second violation. Fans definitely believe so. Here's Holston. Over to Loom. Weber, shot clock down to 3. They got to put it up. They recognize it. They don't. And it's going to be, oh, no shot clock violation, but still a missed shot. And another stop for Bamberg. So their defense continues to be solid. Can their offense catch up? They already have 14 points here in the first 5 minutes plus. And it's a turnover, Arnold. And they're going to call a foul in the backcourt. Close to an intentional or unsportsmanlike. And we're going to have our first timeout of the night. So 24-18 as Dijon calls for the timeout. And again, this JDA Dijon. You see the top scorer so far, Arnold, leading the way. All 9 points coming here in the second quarter. And Coach Benyam giving instructions to his players. Meanwhile, Harris leading scorer so far for Bamberg. So he's been aggressive. And again, this Dijon team that last week got their first taste of victory in the Basketball Champions League thanks to David Holston, who got hot late, finished with a team-high 16 points. Meanwhile, Axel Julien off the bench had 12. And kind of a surprise contribution from Alexandre Chasson last week, 14 points and 8 rebounds. So, as we see, the good ball movement from Bamberg that led to the Harris layup. Just one of their 5 field goals so far. Meanwhile, Chasson gets the left-handed throwdown uncontested. And we're good to go for the next 4 minutes plus. Holston and Rice matched up again. Arnold looking at that baseline, hit 3 from there earlier. Airballs this one, too strong, couldn't duplicate that earlier result from the left wing. Here's Jelovac, double team comes. Good defense from Dijon, the possession. Where it's Olinde, he'll take the 3, no good. Another offensive rebound, this time it's Rubit. Sees a couple of players, Jelovac with another 3, it's good again. And he cuts the lead down to 3. So Jelovac providing the outside touch. He has both 3s for Bamberg here so far. Holston, nice pass, and Loom thought about dunking it, took off him just a bit too far. Now Brose Bamberg, it's Rice to Jelovac. Seemed to get a little bit bumped there on the 3, but no whistle and no basket. Here's Julien, and they're gonna call a kick ball on Bamberg, so the shot clock will reset to 14. Just under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Little pick and pop. Ware can't finish. Jelovac the rebound. So we'll see if Tyrese Rice can get going. Still no points. So the guard, 0-3. 10 with the ball now. Turns the corner. That runner will not count. Fans not happy about it, but it will be 2 free throws. And it's going to be actually Rubit heading to the free throw line as the foul occurred off the ball. So Augustine Rubit, the chance to get his first points of the game. The product out of a South Alabama University. Knocks down the first free throw. So Rubik goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And all of a sudden, just like that, Bamberg only down 1. They are now on a 19-11 run. Meanwhile, on the other end, Ware gets fouled from Rubit, so he'll have a chance to get 2 free throws of his own. See Ware looking to power his way through. Rubit just catches him on that right wrist. Ware knocks down the first free throw. Ware, who played his college basketball at Mississippi State. Also, he'll be familiar with another team in Group C, the Telenet Antwerp Giants, where he played professionally before going to the Valois in France and obviously making his way here to Dijon. Olinde, yellow vouch, has been aggressive, turns the corner and can't quite finish the layup. Holston, good hustle, saves the ball, but they're gonna say that part of his body was out of bounds. So unfortunately for him, can't reap the rewards of his hustle. Meanwhile, Yelovach got right to the cup and just missed the lay-in. So close, but the possession will remain with Bamberg. Here's Olinde inside to Rubit. Double team comes, no foul. A little bit of contact, but good stop there for Dijon. Arnold again. Ware, free throw jumper. That's good offense right there from Dijon. A lot of players involved in the action. Ware knocks down the free throw jumper, and he's now got 7 points. Zizi's dribbled off his own foot, but the referees, yep, it definitely seemed like it went off his legs. He's acting as if it didn't, but we'll take a look at the replay. If the ball did indeed hit his own leg, it will be a backcourt violation. So referee sticking to the call. Here's Holston, little pick and pop with Chasson. Arnold pump fakes again, shot clock down to 3. Ball goes inside Chasson, tough fadeaway, gets double blocked, and it's a shot clock violation. So the ball will go over to Bamberg. Good help side defense there from Olinde. Just over a minute to go in the second quarter. What's been a defensive struggle. Bamberg does have 19 points in the second quarter. And Rice gets into the lane and lays it in off the glass. Nice tough move there from Tyrese Rice for his first field goal. And it does have a long way to go to match the 33-point effort from last week, but gets started there and almost comes away with a clean strip. So Bamberg had a foul to give. Rice uses it on that possession. And you see caught a little bit too much of the body. And Mcdowell White checks back into the game. So Dijon calls their second time out of the half. Still up 3 points. They've been leading most of the way. No lead changes here so far. Bamberg yet to experience the lead. Take another look at that Rice drive and finish. Goes right at Ware. And finds a gap between him and Chasson. And of course, able to get back to his dominant left hand. So you see the bench points, 17 so far from Bamberg. And that's a combination of Elias Harris, who came in with 7. Of course, Tyrese Rice getting those first 2, but the leading scorer is Stevan Jelovac with 8. Meanwhile, points in the paint also in favor of the team with the lead, Dijon, 18-10. Bamberg's advantage has been in the offensive rebounds, but they've managed to secure 8 offensive rebounds, just 1 for Dijon, and they've turned those 8 offensive rebounds to 8 second chance points. And we're gonna have the skull clap, it seems, here in Bamberg. Meanwhile, Holston looking for Julien. Ware, another catch and shoot jumper is good for Gavin Ware, and that's going to lead to another timeout. So Bagaskis obviously can't be happy with the defensive effort the last possession, but also wants to take advantage of the chance to draw up a play for the final possession of the second quarter. So Bamberg, you see the game leaders there so far. Jelovac leading the way in scoring and rebounding. Jelovac, who had 7 points last week on 2 of 9 shooting. The 29-year-old Serbian played for Nizhny Novgorod last season. And that's a club who is now in the Basketball Champions League as well. So the Basketball Champions League brand keeps growing as more and more teams get experience within the competition. Meanwhile, Dijon, Arnold had those 9 points in a quick hurry. And Ware with 4 points, Julien with 4 assists off the bench, providing a very, very solid contribution. So it seems like Dijon will have a 9-man rotation with Ryan Pearson not being in the lineup so far tonight. Neither is Damien Archinard, nor Gary Birchall and Nicolas Dorez. So still here, Holston takes it away from Mcdowell White, turns the corner, and White able to poke the ball out of bounds. So they call a timeout, and they're unable to execute the play that Coach Bagaskis required them. Here's Arnold, and Dijon will reset, use up as much clock as possible. 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Holston looking for the high ball screen. Pick and pop. Ware a little bit further out of range. Can't finish, and there's going to be a foul. So loose ball foul will lead to 2 free throws for Bamberg. And Coach Renyam visibly frustrated, as with 6 seconds to go, Jelovac will step up to the free throw line and chance to make this a 3-point game. Hasn't been the prettiest game here so far. Dijon 12 of 30 overall. Bamberg is 7 of 30, including 5 of 20 from 2. You don't see that every day. teams missing that many shots from inside the arc, but they are 11 of 13 from the free throw line. That's what's keeping them in the game. So Jelovac misses that one, but the putback, Cliff Alexander, has a three-point possession. Holston throws up the long ball. No good. So, at the end of the first half, Dijon 30, Bamberg 28, as Cliff Alexander finds himself at the right place at the right time. Low-scoring affair in the first 20 minutes, but at least it's a close game, and both teams will have a chance to come out with a victory in the second half. We'll take a look at some of the stats. Again, talking about some poor shooting. Bamberg has been aggressive rebounding, 9 offensive rebounds to just 1 for Dijon. And you see the turnovers, which did cost Bamberg in the first quarter, as Dijon was able to get a couple breakaways. Meanwhile, Jelovac, 9 points. Olinde, a lot of energy off the bench, 5 rebounds. And Holston with a couple of steals at during timely possession, sorry. And the leading scorers for both sides there as well. So we'll take a look at a few highlights of those first 20 minutes and a half that Coach Bagaskis, I'm sure, would love to forget, as he came out down 13-4 after the first 10 minutes. Did manage to put 24 points on the board in the second quarter, despite not shooting the ball too well. So right now, Bamberg 8 of 31, 25%, and just 2 of 10 of 3. That 2 of 10 mark, exactly where Dijon currently stands on the three-point line as well. And those 2 threes both coming from Robert Arnold. So far, only 2 players knocking down three-pointers in the first half. That's Jelovac and Arnold. Again, this Dijon team that got off to a good start in the Basketball Champions League with a 74-63 win over Ches Nymburk last week. Able to do it with their defense in the first game, and that's how they got started here tonight. Meanwhile, Brose Bamberg will be, see Patrick Heckman, who took a nasty fall on the ankle and unlikely to return. We'll label him as questionable for now. But Bamberg losing by 1 at home with Labrada at the buzzer, forcing that big 3 from Francisco Cruz. And if they can't squeeze a win here tonight, they're going to be in a little more trouble than anticipated after all their success in Europe over the last few years. With the Basketball Champions League, a very tough competition naturally. You know, elsewhere in Group C, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Hopewell, Jerusalem, 2-0. So is Fuenlabrada. Meanwhile, Ike Athens got off to their, or got back, I should say, to the winning ways. The defending champions of the Basketball Champions League lost their first game at home to Hopewell Jerusalem before defeating Ches Nymburk in double overtime last night in Prague. And then Antwerp Giants, they are 1-1. So the only winless teams so far in Group C are Ches Nymburk and Lietkabelis. Of course, Brose Bamberg will do their best to not join those winless teams after the next 20 minutes. On other action here in game day 2, Prometheus Petrus gets a 2-point victory over Petrol Olympia. Nizhny Novgorod, an 11-point win against Anvil. And Neptunas Klaipėda gets a 15-point victory over Besiktas. Obviously, a lot of games being played every Tuesday and Wednesday night throughout the season. So make sure you're always tuning in for some Basketball Champions League on your local network or on the live basketball.tv website. Make Make sure you also download the Basketball Champions League app for all the up-to-date news, videos, highlights, stats, whatever you need. You can find it on the app. Or you can check us out on championsleague.basketball online as well. So Arnold was really the catalyst in that second quarter that got Dijon going, but it kind of went away from him towards the end of the second quarter. He's just 3 of 6. Pretty much him and Loom, the only 2 players shooting above 50% so far. So we'll be back shortly for the next half of basketball. Don't go too far, as there's still 20 minutes of intense basketball, courtesy of Coach Bagatskis, to come. Welcome back, basketball fans. We are back for the, well, soon to be the second half action here in Bamberg, Germany at the Brose Arena. As you see, Koboka put up some shots. It's been an interesting half of basketball in the first 20 minutes. Dijon enjoying a slim 2-point lead, 30-28 over the host Bamberg. It was a half that was, we'll say, highlighted by some good defense. Bamberg shooting just 25% from the field. And they got good looks. They missed some layups, missed some threes. Both teams just 2 of 10 overall from 3, respectively. Free throws have been in favor of the home side. They are 10 of 13. So counting on the free throw line and their aggression to pick up fouls. Meanwhile, over for Dijon, it's been a quiet half so far for David Holston after his 16-point effort last week. Just 2 points, 1 of 5. And of course, we talked about the matchup between him and Tyrese Rice. Rice with 33 points in his first game for Brose Bamberg in the Basketball Champions League against Fuenlabrada on 9 of 14 shooting, also had 8 assists. But so far, it's been a struggle for Rice. Just 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting and 1 assist. So both teams kind of going through a couple struggles. We'll see if the second half and the halftime talks will make a big difference. The energy has been there. There's no question about that. The effort's been there as well. Execution, and we'll kind of say, you know, just sometimes the ball doesn't go through the basket. It's that simple in basketball sometimes. But Nico Zisis does have 4 points off on the free throw line. Harris with 7. Bamberg led by Stevan Jelovac, the Serbian, with 9 points. Meanwhile, for Dijon, they are also led in scoring by a 9-point player. That's Robert Arnold, the product from Boise State, 29 years old. Reggie Arnold has had a very, very tough stretch in the second quarter. Those first 5 minutes, hit a couple threes in the left wing, the top of the key. Also had a nice drive and layup for the and one. So we'll see if they go to him. And his partner in the scoring lead is Gavin Ware with 9 points of his own on 3 of 8 shooting. Ware also with 4 rebounds. It's also been a quiet half for Obi Emigano. Emigano, who had 9 points last week, hit 3 threes for his 9 points. So far hasn't even attempted a 3-point shot. So obviously this team's still figuring it out. It's early on in the season. Bamberg has only played 2 games in the German league. They are 2-0 there. They've only played 1 game in the Basketball Champions League, so plenty of time. And Tyrese Rice does start the second half alongside Jelovac, Rubit, Zizis, and Olinde getting the start. And you can see they're going a little bit faster already on this first possession. It's still going to be a near turnover. Rubit saves it. Jelovac saves it. Olinde saves it. Oh, God, that was just not pretty. And it's going to be a turnover on the first possession. So you see there, Zizis already with a tough pass. Rubit able to catch it, throws it away, and the ball goes over to Dijon. So now the French side with their first possession. Let's see who they go to. Holston, just a screen from Ware, pick and pop. Short on the jumper, and the ball ends up in Emigano's hands. So they'll reset. Shot clock under 10. Arnold, little hesitation, turns the corner and lays it off the glass. Another nice move from Arnold, and he's now the first player for either team in double figures with 11. Olinde, near steer there from Holston. Rice, he's so good with that floater, and it doesn't fall that time, but the possession will stay over with Bamberg as Arnold and Rubit were duking it out. But Rice able to hit those runners, those lefty runners, with so many different angles and different distances. That one doesn't drop for him. See the second chance points there. Advantage Bamberg. Meanwhile, Yelovac, corner three. Nope. And two players in white duke it out. Ends up in the hands of Loom over to Holston. See 5 rebounds there for Loom, who had a quick start scoring-wise. Haven't called his name much since the early part of the first quarter. Here he is, top of the key. Arnold, shot clock expires, and it seemed like an air ball, so there will be a violation. And it's another shot clock violation at that. So here comes Tyrese Rice for Bamberg. Fans clapping, trying to bring energy to their players. Rice looking for space. Over to Zizis for 3. Short again. And Arnold comes away with the rebound over to Holston. Oh, nice crossover, double crossover. But Rice able to intercept the pass, gets into the passing lane. And a foul on Arnold in the backcourt. So good defensive help that time from Tyrese Rice. Holston did a good job of handling the ball to get away from the first defender, but can avoid the secondary defense. Here's Rice again, turns the corner. And they're going to call an offensive foul inside. It's going to go against Nico Zizis, called for the illegal screen. So his second personal foul. And Bamberg still yet to score here in the second half. Of course, remember they scored only 4 points in the first quarter. But another turnover, and Zizis comes away with it as Ware couldn't quite handle the ball. And it goes inside to Rubit, and they're going to call the foul on Loom. So Rubit does a good job of just sprinting down the floor and posting up in front of the rim. And Abdoulaye Loom gets called for his first personal foul. And Rice takes a little bump. Nice crossover. Looks for Rubit. Beautiful pass inside. And he banks it off the glass. So Rice starting to just pick it up his play a little bit. See the nice penetration. Kind of tough pass on that angle. Too tough angle on that pass, I should say. Here's Arnold. Hands it over. And Magano. Arnold looking to get the ball inside to Ware. Looking to go at Rubit. Shot clock down at 3. A little fadeaway. Nice touch that time from Ware. And he joins Arnold in double figures. Rice again, turns the corner, pick out to Zizis. Once again, Zizis can't hit the 3. And now numbers for Dijon, Holston, and Magano. Nice transition action. So Magano gets his first field goal, courtesy of running the floor. Meanwhile, Rice thought about the layup. Good ball movement. Rubit shorts the layup. And another transition opportunity, and Magano back-to-back. And now a timeout for Coach Bagaskis as Magano starts to heat up, and the lead is pushed out to 8. So Loom looks a little bit beat up there for Dijon. But we see the transition being taken advantage of as Bamberg fails to get back on defense. See the field goal numbers, but that is now 10 fast break points for Dijon. Also, the bulk of Dijon's points coming from their starters, only 2 bench points so far, but they still manage an 8-2 lead here in the third quarter. So Coach Lenyam, just 41 years of age. Played most of his career in France for Toulon. As we take a look at Ware's little fadeaway. And of course, Holston with consecutive assists, finding Emigano. So that's now 4 assists for David Holston on the night. Of course, last week Holston had 16 points, but didn't really have to share the ball too much. Was more responsible for the scoring in that win. So here comes Rice looking to respond. Zizi's drives baseline, good defense from Emigano to cut him off. And another example of good defense with a double team. Meanwhile, Rice catch and shoot 3, foul. Holston challenged the shot, and Rice will head to the free throw line for 3 free throws. So second time tonight that Dijon gets called for the 3-point foul. Harris, first time around, went 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Rice, who was 11 of 13 from the stripe last week, connects on his first free throw of the game. So Rice looks to stay perfect. And he does just that. So 3 big free throws for Tyrese Rice to cut the deficit down to 5. Meanwhile, it's Ware again on the block. This time Harris on him, goes right at him and finishes with a nice jump hook. Gavin Ware really coming along nicely here in the second half. 13 points on the night, 5 of 11 shooting. Meanwhile, Rice looking to create space. Finds Koboka, nice pump fake to elude a defender, and once again just can't knock down the outside shot. Still scoreless is Koboka. Meanwhile, Emigano, he can't hit the 3, he was wide open. Bamberg will reset. Harris sets the screen for Rice, splits the double team. Nice kick to Zizi's for 3. Good action that time for Bamberg. And the assist from Rice. Zizi's finally connects for his first field goal. 40-36. We just passed the midway point of the third quarter. You see Rubit with the hand check, no call. Here's Emigano now, turns the corner. Good defense from Harris. Ware doesn't hesitate. Too strong on the jumper. Another rebound for Rubit. And ball will stay with Bamberg. So we're gonna have a couple substitutions. Leloup and Chasson check into the game for Dijon, replacing Ware and Arnold. And Daniel Schmidt will come in for Bamberg as he gets Zizi to blow. Rice pulls up for 3. He's heating up, folks. Tyrese Rice knocking down his first perimeter jump shot. And it's now a 1-point game. 6 consecutive points for Rice. Now got 8 on the night. Again, Bamberg is looking for their first lead. Meanwhile, Chasson, nice left-handed shot. Too strong. Koboka comes away with a rebound. And you know Rice wants the ball in his hands, wants to create. They're going to call a foul on Chasson. Didn't quite move his feet enough. 4th team foul on Dijon, so that puts Bamberg in the bonus. Next foul will be free throws for Bamberg. Here comes Julien for Holston, I presume. Third foul on Alexandre Chasson. Oh, nice crossover dribble. Rice with a little gimme fake. And the ball was out of bounds on Bamberg. So Tyrese Rice can't quite believe it. He believes the ball was knocked out of his hands. Call is not going to go his way. Meanwhile, Schmidt putting pressure on JDA on the backcourt. And it's another turnover. Rubik comes away with it. And there's not going to be a unsportsmanlike foul there, but Loon does get called for the reach. So free throws for Rubik. As Chasson just a little bit soft with that pass. Harris maybe got his fingertips on it. You see Coach Lenyem demanding an explanation. So the first free throw is good for Rubik. He's now got 5 points, still perfect from the free throw line. Free throws have kept Bamberg in the game, and the chance now for the first lead doesn't happen. So we are tied at 40, 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And we've seen much better defense. Harris again with the pressure. Look how far away from the basket Dijon has to execute their offense. Lelou with the catch, shot clock winding down. Kobolka does a good job of staying in front. Tough fadeaway jump shot dropped in by Jérémy Lelou. Tough shot that time. Gives Dijon the lead once again. Lelou's first points of the game. Here's Harris now. Passes on the three. Gets to the lane. Gets bumped. And he'll head back to the free throw line. Seems to have used his footwork quite well. Maybe got away with the travels. And take another look at that Lelou jump shot. A little between the legs crossover, spins, turn around, fade away. That is not an easy shot. Meanwhile, here let's see Harris. Yeah, definitely slid his feet. Got away with one that time, but 2 free throws for the former Gonzaga Bulldog. First one falls in. Harris goes 2 for 2 to once again tie this game. There's Julien. Screen from Ware. Nice little pocket pass, and Ware, strong finish at the basket. Gavin Ware, a man amongst boys here so far in the third quarter. He's now got 15 points. Rice, Kobolka for 3. Finally able to convert one from beyond the arc. Arnoldas Kobolka gets his first field goal, 1 of 4 from 3. Again, he was the best young player in the Basketball Champions League last season for Capo d'Orlando. 12 points per game as Gavin Ware on the other end again. The easy 2. But back to Kobolka. Had a phenomenal season for Capo d'Orlando. Got recognized the best young player of the year. Just 20 years of age is the young Lithuanian. Was also drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in the second round, the 55th pick. So he definitely has a lot of talent. Meanwhile, Rubik for 3 this time, way too strong. So Dijon still up 1. Bamberg doing whatever it can just to taste that lead for just a little bit, yet to have the advantage. Oh, I apologize, they were up 1 for a little bit. There's Emagano, strong take, and he gets hacked by Harris. So 2 free throws to come. Bamberg did have the lead for 22 seconds in the game. Meanwhile, Arnold will check back in, as will Zizis. And Emagano knocks down the first free throw. Obi Emagano, 6'2" shooting guard, out of Nigeria, 25 years of age. Also played college basketball for Oral Roberts. The first team All-Summer League player. and they're going to have a violation on the free throw, but the point still counts. So, and Magano, who can put points up on the board, has 8 here tonight. At one point was the 7th leading scorer in college basketball in his senior season. Redshirt senior season. So here comes Zizis. He draws a foul. And again, free throws to come. So Gavin Ware picks up his first personal, but Bamberg have been in the bonus for pretty much half the quarter now. And Zizis converts the first free throw. So Brose Bamberg managing to keep this game close despite a horrendous start. Their shooting is still just a 12 for 42, 28% overall. But they've managed to knock down 18 for 22 free throws. It's about 83%. And that's what's kept them in the game. Meanwhile, Dijon just 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Julien pulls up the free throw jump shot off the front rim. And once again, Bamberg with a chance to regain the lead. Game clock under 10. It's down to 5. Zizis. Deflection. Dijon. Julien throws up the half-court shot. Air ball. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. So, it's still close. Dijon up 148 to 47. Bamberg winning the third quarter 19 to 18. So even though it seemed like Dijon had a lot of the momentum, especially in certain stretches where they got a couple breakaways, it seemed like they started to pull away, but it's still Bamberg winning that third quarter by 1, 19 to 18. You see the stats? Again, the shooting not great, especially from 2-point for Bamberg, which is almost inexplicable. The three-pointer is not really falling for Dijon. Bamberg with a +9 advantage from beyond the arc. And they're also enjoying the +12 advantage from the free throw line. And that's what's keeping them in the game. So we'll see some of those plays in the third quarter. As Reggie Arnold definitely going into his bag a little bit. He's got 11 points, but the player of the game so far has been Gavin Ware, 17 points and 7 of 14 shooting, including 6 rebounds. He's also been perfect from the free throw line. Only 3 players so far have attempted free throws for Dijon. Meanwhile, over for Bamberg, you see Tyrese Rice making things happen, finding his teammate Rubit. Tyrese Rice with 8 points and 4 assists. So definitely had a better performance in that third quarter. Meanwhile, Rubit, 5 points, 5 rebounds for him. Yelovach is quiet in that third quarter, still stuck on 9 points. So is Harris. So where will the scoring come from in the fourth quarter? We imagine Tyrese Rice will look to be very aggressive. He's quite the accomplished player. And obviously, a lot of fans might have seen him at the Eurobasket playing for Montenegro in 2017 and 2013. Played in China last season for Shenzhen. So, fourth quarter action is ready now. Holston with the ball, Schmidt all over him. And for Dijon, it's Holston, Julien, Ware, Arnold, and Leloup. For Bamberg, it's Zizis, Schmidt, Cliff Alexander back in, but Gavin Ware keeps it going. Another kind of tween, mid-range, close-range jumper for Ware. Soft touch for him. But yeah, back to Bamberg. Also Elias Harris and Koboka in the lineup. Zizis over to Alexander. Quick pass, Schmidt. Can't finish, and Alexander throws it down. Powerful dunk there from Big Cliff. The man out of Chicago, just 22 years of age. Hasn't played heavy minutes here tonight. Does have 6 points. Julien Over to the loop. Arnold, shot clock down to 3. Has to put it up with the left hand. Nearly banks it, stays with it. And they're going to call out of bounds. Seemed to have been bumped, but the ball will go over back to Bamberg. Take another look at that. Alexander makes his way towards the rim, and Lelou almost gives the assist to the man for the dunk. So once again, 1-point game. Bamberg just hasn't really been able to get over that hump and take control of this game. Here's Koboka. Gets the bump. And he can't finish through the contact. And Julien steps into a long 3 in transition, and it falls for him. Axel Julien with a confident shot. That's only his first basket of the night. So timely shot there from Julien. Here's Zizis. Harris. Holston almost got the steal. That's one of the advantages from being at a height disadvantage, is you're able to kind of take the ball away with ease. We'll take another look here. Holston, yeah, definitely kind of went into Harris's space. So a bit of a zone look defensively here from Dijon. And that leaves Zizis open. Long range 3. Swish for Zizis. Timely clutch shot from the Lord of the Rings. Once again, 1-point game. Nice little spin from Julien. And that's going to draw a foul on Zizis. But let's take another look at that long 3, well beyond the arc. Definitely counts. And Tyrese Rice re-enters the fray. Got a few minutes rest towards the end of the third quarter in the early fourth. See 3 fouls there on Zizis. Meanwhile, Holston, who hasn't really looked for his shot, is much more of a distributor. Shot clock down to 3. Holston throws up the long range, deflected by Rice, and it's a shot clock violation. So Bamberg has been in this situation time and time again here in this game. They're down 1. A chance to take the lead. Can they execute? It's Harris over to Koboka. Looking to create room. Alexander. Zizis with the little runner. It falls for him. Those back-to-back clutch shots for Nico Zizis. And now Bamberg is up 1. Despite all of their struggles offensively, they find themselves with the lead in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Dijon goes back to Ware. Looking to get Alexander off his feet. Little fadeaway, short. Rice collects the rebound. Rice draws the double team. Move the ball from side to side. Harris, little pump fake, fade away, and it falls for him. And it's now the largest lead of the game, which is going to lead to a timeout for Dijon, as Bamberg starting to really pick up the momentum here at home. They're up 3 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. See the foul trouble situation. Lelou, Loom, and Chasson all with 3. So Gavin Ware, 19 points and 7 rebounds. Really leading the way for Dijon. Meanwhile, different contributions coming up for Brose Bamberg. Alexander obviously got that dunk. You see their foul trouble situation. Zizis now all of a sudden with 14 points to lead Bamberg, courtesy of the long 3, the little runner, and his 6 for 6 shooting from the free throw line. Zizis also with 4 assists. Meanwhile, Harris now joins Zizi's in double figures with 11. They are the only 2 players with 10+ points. Harris, a very efficient 3 of 4 from the field, 5 of 7 from the free throw line. And Coach Pagatskis elects to keep Kowalka in the game. Harris also will remain alongside Zizis. I'm sure Tyrese Rice is ready to match up against Holston. And finally, Cliff Alexander playing the 5. Holston had room, thought about it, and they're going to call a travel. Shuffled his feet before taking his first dribble. So Emigano will check back into the game. Again, they need him to be aggressive down the stretch. You see there, the travel call. So Tyrese Rice, this is where he is so dangerous. Great floor general for Bamberg. And a foul is going to go against Julien, looking to prevent Rice from turning the corner. Second team foul on Dijon. Still 1 team foul for Bamberg. Oh, nice skip pass. Harris passes on the 3, takes the 2 instead, and it drops in for him. Nice pass from Tyrese Rice, skips it over to the opposite corner. And it's now a 5-point lead, obviously the largest lead of the night for Bamberg. Nice pass from Julien over to Emigano. Can't get away from Zizi's. Shot clock at 5. Arnold has to do something with it. Contested 3, no good. And only 2 black jerseys go up for the rebound. So all the momentum on the home sides is in the home side's favor at the moment. Here's Zizis again. Takes the bump, too strong on the layup. Lulu looking to push the tempo. And Arnold, we're gonna have a foul on Tyrese Rice first. So second team foul on Bamberg. Meanwhile, Abdoulaye Loom, I should say, checks back into the game, number 21. Here's Julien. And Ware, he's been very lethal from that spot, and it's continuing. Another mid-range jumper for Gavin Ware to make it a 1-possession game yet again. 58-55, under 5 minutes to go. Ware with 21 points on the night. Again, he had just 6 points last week. Here's Rice, one of his trademark floaters. Again, he's so dangerous. Kind of that 1-foot runner from any spot. He's now in double figures with 10. So 10 points, 5 assists. And Emigano, he'll pull up from the elbow spot. Can't finish. Alexander skies up for the rebound. Oh, Rice, triple crossover. Another runner, this time no good, just a little bit short. Here comes Julien. Nice pass, and Loom, finger roll, and 1. What a play from Loom, who took off from way outside the paint and was able to stretch out for the finish. You see the nice transition, pick and roll. Harris, got his right hand on the left hip of Loom and gets called for the foul. So Cliff Alexander will head to the bench. Rubit comes back in for him. Rubit, who got a long rest there. And Loom completes the 3-point play. Loom, who had been quiet since the first quarter, finally gets another field goal. He's now got 10 points on the night himself. Here's Harris again. Oh, good ball moving from Bamberg. Rice for three. You know that's going in. Big shot, Ty Rice. And he's really heating up. We knew that the fourth quarter would be his time to step up. He's done just that. Give him 13 now on the night. Meanwhile, David Holston still on the bench. Arnold steps back. Can't finish, and the tip-in, tough finish there from Emigano. Able to get it in with the left hand, bring the game back down to a 3-point deficit. 3 minutes to go. Rice again, dribbling wizard. Gets into the lane, and another banked layup for Tyrese Rice. He has taken over the basketball game. Leads the team in scoring now with 15 points in a matter of moments. Still plenty of time for Dijon, obviously. See the bench points, and Loom again gets by his defender, and we'll head back to the free throw line. So we'll see if Coach Lenyem goes back to David Holston. He does just that. Holston, who was tremendous down the stretch last week against Ches Nimberg. And he's been very quiet here tonight. Holston just 1 of 6, 2 points as Loom misses the first free throw. So 1 for 2 on that trip for Loom. Meanwhile, Tyrese Rice has Holston on him. Oh, nice little Euro step and another layup for Tyrese Rice. And just no expression on his face because that is a professional basketball player right there. 17 points now for Rice. And it seems like they've pretty much all come here in the fourth quarter. And Magano dribbles into trouble. Loom bails him out. Holston, he gets into the lane. Unable to finish. And the shot clock seems to have reset, although the ball did not hit the rim. Meanwhile, Rubit comes out with the rebound, and Bamberg content to just use up some clock here. Under 2 minutes to go. 6-point lead. So the fans continue to clap. Here's Rice again. And he throws the ball away. And Magano has numbers. Oh, it's going to be a turnover. It seemed like the ball might have hit Jesus' foot. The referees don't call it. And then it hits Arnold's hands before it goes out of bounds. Let's take another look here. And Magano, yeah, definitely caught Jesus' foot. So lucky break for the home team. They're up 6, minute 15 to play. It's Rice again, too much room. Another 3 for Tyrese Rice. He's on fire. Tyrese Rice, the Boston College Eagle, is flying high here tonight. He's got 20 on the night, 7 of 12 shooting, including 3 threes here in the fourth quarter. Could almost give him 4 threes if you count the one he got fouled on. But Tyrese Rice, pretty sure he has 18 points here in the fourth quarter. So the lead is now 9 for Bamberg with a minute 4 to go. Of course, the fans are not going to feel too confident considering they were up 8 with a minute and 44 seconds to go last week against Fuenlabrada before the Spanish side was able to go on a furious run that ended in Francisco Cruz hitting one of the shots, the most incredible shots we've ever seen in the Basketball Champions League at the buzzer. give them the 1-point victory. So no lead is safe enough, but we'll see here Rice, who seems so effortless on the catch and shoot three. And of course that beautiful Euro step to elude Holston. We've just seen no rim protection from Dijon. And that time, the slow rotation, you just know, you can tell in his eyes, he lives for these moments. 70-61, minute and 4 seconds to go, or a minute and 5 seconds to go, I should say. Dijon have to go quickly. And Julien squeezes it into Ware. He'll take the free throw jump shot, no good. Rice the rebound. And that might just do it. Dijon just 3 of 16 from 3. Meanwhile, Bamberg 8 of 21. Most of those threes coming in the second half. And they're looking to add to it. They do. Kulboka for 3. His second one of the game. And all of a sudden, it's a double-digit lead for Bamberg. And the final score will not be indicative of how this game was played. Meanwhile, Arnold still looking to make a comeback. Cuts it down to 9. Bagaskis calls a timeout. Very interesting game we've had here. The fourth quarter has gone completely the home side's way. Despite Dijon leading for 30 minutes in this game, it looks like they're going to go home with the loss. You see Tyrese Rice with the 20 points, Cliff Alexander with 7 rebounds in limited minutes. But Bamberg did have the advantage on the rebounds, 28-26, including 11 offensive rebounds. They also had 42 points from their bench, thanks to those 20 from Rice. And you see the game leaders, Loom with 10 rebounds, so he now has a double-double, 10 points and 10 rebounds from him. And Axel Julien with 10 assists off the bench. And we've seen a number of guards able to hit those double-digit numbers. And you see Maurice Stuckey back there in the gray T-shirt for Brose Bamberg. He didn't suit up tonight. Maurice Stuckey, the 3-time BBL All-Star, been with this club for many years, sending this one out. But yeah, Julien, those 10 assists might not be enough. And that's the beauty of the Basketball Champions League competition. It's hard to be consistent, first of all in the domestic league, and then come in midweek and perform at a high level against some of the best teams in Europe. Meanwhile, Dijon will be looking to foul quickly to stop the clock. And it's going to go into the front court. And it looks like they'll just be happy to dribble out the clock. Or one more foul, I should say. 8 seconds left. Bamberg still up 9. And Bagatskis is going to call a timeout just for fun. Now, of course, the point differential always significant. You never know what might happen in the later rounds, the later game days. So if you have a chance to win by 11 points, 10 points, if you're Coach Bagaskis, you're taking advantage of it. The last thing you want at the end of the season is to not advance because of point differential. Meanwhile, for Dijon, that means they want to play defense to the final buzzer, make sure they don't give up anything easy. So one of the heroes of this game, Elias Harris, with a plus 18 point differential, 13 points, 4 or 5 shooting. It was more like his timely baskets that made a difference. Meanwhile, Tyrese Rice will probably get the game ball, man of the match. 20 points and 5 assists for him. Also the most efficient shooting on the team, 7 of 12. So Rice will inbound. We get it to Yelovach. Rice wants a long three, you imagine. Gets to the lane. Last shot, the buzzer doesn't fall for him, but it's a victory nonetheless for Brose Bamberg here at home. 73-64 over Dijon. So Dijon falls to 1-1 on the season. Brose Bamberg up to 1-1 themselves to kind of climb up the standings. And that means that in Group C, we are only going to have 2 undefeated teams after the first 2 game days, which is once again a testament to just how competitive this league is. So Hapoel Jerusalem will enjoy the top spot for at least 1 more week. Meanwhile, Brose Bamberg now climbs out of the bottom spot, where Ches Nimberg and Lietkabelis are the only 2 winless teams in Group C. Meanwhile, you see there Axel Julien, the French national team player, talking to his teammates at half court. Ryan Pearson, who didn't get the chance to suit up here tonight, probably due to injury, as we take a look at these stats. So the 2 points picked up in the second half, and especially the 3-pointers, courtesy of guys like Tyrese Rice. Rebounding numbers advantage to Bamberg. The turnovers were pretty limited. Game wasn't played too sloppily. Good effort from both sides. Tyrese Rice leads the way with 20 points, Ware with 21. And then you see the rebounding and assist numbers for guys like Loom and Julien. Meanwhile, Tyrese Rice made up for those 4 turnovers with some timely shooting down the stretch. And Zizis with 14 points, Harris with 13. 3 players in double figures for each team. So Brose Bamberg able to get their first win. And since they played their first 2 games at home, they will travel to Athens next week for a matchup against the defending BCL Basketball Champions League champions, Ike Athens. That's going to be 1-2 watch. Meanwhile, Dijon will head back home to France and play against Fuenlabrada at the Palais des Sports Jean-Michel Joffre. And we'll see some highlights from this tremendous basketball game, which considering how it started with Dijon up 13-4 after the first quarter, just 4 first quarter points, yet they somehow managed to win the game by almost double digits. A 9-point victory as they limit Dijon to just 64 points, despite them shooting 43% from the field. Statistically, Bamberg took less shots, shot a worse percentage, but they did out-rebound and get to the free throw line considerably more. 18-22 free throws compared to just 8-10 for Dijon. They also hit 5 more 3-pointers than Dijon. So take all those stats into consideration. It explains why Bamberg was able to come away with a win here in Freak City. And these fans of the Brose Arena have to be happy with the result more than anything. Gavin Ware did his best to keep Dijon in the game. Again, 9 of 18 shooting, 21 points, and 7 rebounds for Ware, the former Mississippi State Bulldog. Really went to work. And again, he's only 24 years of age, so bright future for him. Meanwhile, Tyrese Rice, the veteran, and his backcourt mate Zizis combining for 34 points. So you really got to love this kind of week in, week out. Just can't really pick a favorite. It's hard to say who's going to win each game. And we've had a number of close contests, a lot of overtime games already here in the first couple of weeks of the Basketball Champions League. Double overtime matchup yesterday in Group C. So you see the updated standings. Brose Bamberg in 5th place. Dijon now drops down to 6th. That's going to be it from us here in FIBA and the Basketball Champions League group. Thank you for tuning in and watching. We'll see you next week. Good night.